Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Laura from Hyperstamper. Today's journal is a beautiful Art Deco-y children's book, and I thought the title of this antique book was Fantastic Art Stories because I know a lot of junk journalers like to do their own artwork in their journals, and we're all artistic in our own way, so what a fun cover. It's got this beautiful yellow and a sort of a slate blue gray and then the navy blue, and I've added just some fabric here that matches the colors and some vintage jewelry bits there also to go with the cover, and that's a removable bangle. And on the back there's this lovely little image here of the three children reading a book, and as well a great Art Deco spine. So I just added some corners here because the corner protectors, they were a little beat up. This book has been very well loved, and I left in the original first pages here because also the illustrations here are wonderful. And this is one of the best books for colorful images that I've ever seen in a children's book. So again, this one is from 1934. And they get right down to all the different colors in the rainbow. Just look at the vibrant colors. And this is almost 100 years old. This here is a fold-out map that is from the American Road Map Atlas. And that is actually where I live. I pulled it out earlier and went, oh, there's where I live, right there. And then we've got Buffalo and Rochester on the back. A little bit of doily here. And this, a friend of mine in Nova Scotia who I met through journaling, sent me this. It was my first piece of Happy Mail. And this is from, it's very, very old. And the graphics on it are fantastic. So this is from the Heinz Company and all of their different products. And they were advertising this at the World Fair. And I will try to remember to attach the date of this in the Etsy description when I put this on Etsy. A little secret journaling spot here and here, and some lace. And this is, even though it's not the best quality, this is Joan's family, the woman who I constantly have been using her family photos. This is her family on a ship on the SS Rapids Prince. Isn't that cool? And then back here, I've pulled this hymn out of a hymn book from 1910, which is I'm using the cover for a journal coming up. And I liked the one, Harvest Time is Here. And I had, because it was so brittle and old, I had to adhere it onto another antique page to give it some sturdiness. You can journal in there. Woohoo! And just some wonderful, this is a illustration from the How to Watercolor book from the 70s. So a vintage book there, or a vintage book page. And that's on a 1920s music sheet, this pocket. Made that out of a doily. And then from 1938, December 7 and 8. I'm working my way up chronologically with these. And that is from the Paris, France Almanac. Really fun read, if you can Google translate it. Or maybe you speak French. And this is just a piece of vintage upholstery fabric, and underneath, again, another antique book page for journaling, a little secret journaling spot there. And everything in here is actual antique and vintage ephemera, no fakes or kits or commercials, just not my style. I love other people's work, just it's not my style. So I choose to just add a few tea-dyed pages that I make and hand stamp. Here's a 1950s Theater Arts magazine page, which is really, really cool, actually, this particular set. And then a little pocket here made out of an antique music sheet, and another journaling card envelope here. This came from the Dr. Seuss book. That one, that was Big N. And a little removable paper clip here with a vintage earring on it, and then just a little booklet here that I've used scraps of antique paper, doilies, and vintage wallpaper on there, and a Pearl Shop receipt on the other side, and that's made out of a sewing book page, how to sew. And this is a wonderful heavy cardstock fuzzy paper children's illustration from the 1920s, and that's in those fuzzy, beautiful pages. And look at the child has colored that in. So it was well loved, and I love that. Here we go with another wonderful children's page, and that one is from Folklore, Fairy Tales and Fables. And this is really cool. It's in such good shape. It looks brand new, but it's from Paris, France. And useful information when buying gifts for your wife. And the husband, the woman would fill this out with her dress size and all of the ring size, belt size, birthday, anniversary dates, because we know the husbands won't remember, I guess. And she would give that to her husband. And on the other side, it's just in French. So I thought that was really cool. My sister gave me that. And here is from a London newspaper from the 50s. I love that there's red type, and look at that, wonderful. The London Free Press. Terrific. Flip side of that Dr. Seuss page. This is a vintage playing card, and I just really like the image on there, a Victorian woman skating with her cat and her present, because that's how we got around. And here is another one of these wonderful bank insurance slips that from 1922 to expire in 1930. And here is a wonderful antique postcard of a shoreline with the sailboats, the buildings in the back there. And that is from 1907. Is that wonderful? Yeah, I love that one. And if you want me to switch it out for a different kind of postcard, just let me know when you order. And here is just from the 1800s. It's a veterinarian book on how to care for farm animals, and this is the chickens. And I just put a little bit of antique paper there to give it strength and journaling space. Pulled that from a children's book page, and an 1890s Demarest family magazine with really cool images and stories in there. And then here is a wonderful canceled check from 1916. Holy cow, that's old. Why did I think I saw that and thought it was 1969. That's wonderful. So there you go. And they signed it on the back. So that is super cool. Okay, here we go. So going Birdwatcher's vintage log page. Just a nice little cluster there. And this is a wonderful little image from a children's magazine with the robin and the little sparrows there. And speaking of birds, there's a vintage magazine page here with some wonderful birds and other images. This is from the 1930s Monopoly set, St. Charles Place. And another antique page that I made into a journaling envelope, and one of these wonderful vintage/antique hankies that was never purchased. So it's in its original condition, and it's stunning with all the applique work there. It's just lovely, 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 lovely. There we go. Stick that in there. This is a nice wide book, by the way. This is 6.5 by 8, this book, so it's a nice wide one. Friday, July 4th, 1958, Grandstand Agenda, and Jeannie's Kittens. That's sweet, that story. Another bird page. This is really cool. I got a bunch of these, like a whole whack of them. They used to make these as a craft, and this we believe is from the 50s, 40s or 50s, but this round part is the rubber seal of a mason jar, and then they covered that with string, embroidered around it, and made these decorations. So you could turn that into a Christmas tree ornament, or just leave it in here, or do anything with it. It could be really fun. This is a page from a poetry book from the 40s. Also going to be a journal someday when it grows up, but it was such a great journaling booklet. I just left it in here. This is another one of those pages from the 1850s. And I just made this little tag out of some antique paper for journaling on the back of, and some lovely little series of children's book pages here. Here's Baby's tousled head. Look at the vibrant colors. These pages here are from this Art Stories book. But look at, oh my gosh, they're just lovely. They look like watercolor paintings. And look at this one. This is actually a reproduction of one that is in the Connecticut Art Extension. And these little girls with their lanterns. And, oh, just so wonderful. So that is going on Etsy momentarily, and you can see that at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe.